Good morning. Another interlocution today from Our Lady. This one is on perseverance. My children, how I desire for all of you to persevere in prayer just as you persevere in the many human activities you undertake. Think of your school days and of how many years it took you to be able to read and write, things you now take for granted. It is the same with prayer. It takes time, patience, perseverance, and dedication. I know, my children, that it is difficult because so often you don't see the fruits of your prayers, and that is why I use people to convey my motherly encouragement to you. Keep on praying, my children, and as soon as you can, return to prayer after periods of discouragement. Jesus thirsts for each and every one of your hearts. Remember this simple fact when you feel like giving up. So, what a practical message from Our Lady this morning. And she didn't say, if you experience a period of discouragement or if you feel like giving up. She said, when you feel like giving up, because she knows what it's like. And it is a good example because we all can read now, we can write now, we can do all sorts of things. A lot of us can drive cars and stuff. Yet when we think back, especially in school, how many years it took us to learn to write. It wasn't even natural holding a pencil. Then the shapes we were making, how many times the teacher to tell us. Then we had to learn how to do joint writing. Then we were writing too quickly and the teacher couldn't read it and she had to correct us. It's amazing. The same thing when it comes to reading. How many times we were reading certain words when they're a big word and we can't pronounce them and we're saying something stupid and everyone in the class is laughing and giggling at us. And yet over time we got the hang of it, and now if somebody made that mistake, we'd probably be the ones laughing and giggling at them. So we forget. But Our Lady is saying the same thing. Just now, because we're adults, doesn't mean that our brains have suddenly changed and that now when we go about doing something we find it easy. In fact, not at all. Doctors and scientists and people will tell you that as adults actually it's more difficult for us to learn. And I had the experience when I lived in Croatia a couple of years ago to be an English teacher for a while at least, and it made me laugh because there I was teaching English to some Croatian adults, and there was this method based on repetition, and the amount of times we had to repeat the same thing over and over and over again, it was incredible. And yet I smiled because I was trying to learn some Croatian at the same time, and I was just as bad, if not worse, than them. And so Our Lady is saying, keep on going and be encouraged. And sometimes it's even harder when it comes to prayer because we don't necessarily see the fruits. We don't necessarily see great improvement in ourselves because it's inner stuff that's happening. And that's all the more reason why we need encouragement. And that's why in today's society, Our Lady and around the world, there are many people with prophetic gifts. There are many people she gives interlocutions to, just like me. And she gives these messages to people, through people like me, through others, to encourage us all, including encouraging me, by the way, because just because I get these messages doesn't mean that I find it all easy either. And so Our Lady is there saying, don't give up. Jesus thirsts for each and every one of your hearts, and remember this simple fact when you feel like giving up. So anyway, let us be people of perseverance, patience, prayer, and if we are having a hard time, let's not be afraid to talk about it to a spiritual director, to a good friend. Let's not be able to bring it to the light, and with the power of other people, the power of Jesus, the power of the Holy Spirit, we will find that encouragement again, and we will break through any discouragement, and we will get back on the horse, so to speak, and bring our hearts to Jesus, even if they're broken and moaning and groaning and dull and depressed and sad half the time. Jesus understands, and every time we bring our hearts to him, it's an act of trust, it's an act of love, and it's bringing ourselves to him in all humility, saying, here I am, Jesus, I'm far from perfect, I'm struggling, I'm weak, I'm this, I'm that, I'm the other, yet I trust in you because I have nowhere else to go. So thank you for watching, have a wonderful day, and let's keep each other in prayer and keep on going.